Superb by name, superb by nature. That is generally how it has always been with Skoda's largest car. But with the market increasingly moving away from saloons, hatchbacks and estates like this and towards SUVs like Skoda's own Kodiaq, the question is the Superb still good enough? And that is precisely what we're going to find out in this CarGurus UK review. And as ever, if you enjoy what you see, please do like the video, subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you'll know when our new videos go live. In isolation, the changes, which are things like these new matrix LED headlights on this top spec model and this bit more chrome on the grille, they don't actually seem to add up to much. But when you put them all together, and also the Skoda lettering on the back rather than the Skoda badge, I think they just help to improve what was already, to me at least, a handsome car. And that's before you even get to what has always been the Superb's USP, the amount of space it offers. The quoted load volume of this estate model is a whopping 660 litres. Now that makes this one of the most practical family cars you can buy. And it's not just that it's big either, it's just well thought out. So a nice square shape, you've got extra storage areas at the side here, you've got hooks to hang things. There's even a removable torch should you need it. Plus, of course, you can fold the rear seats down to extend the load bay further. The Superb is simply humongous in the back seats as well. We are talking here about Bentley or Rolls-Royce levels of rear legroom. Headroom is excellent as well. And because it's a big wide car, you can easily get 3 people across the back here. This big transmission tunnel isn't too much of a problem. And in terms of quality, I mean, obviously we're not at Bentley or Rolls-Royce levels, but in this SEL spec car with its leather and everything generally feels solid, we are certainly at the upper edge of the mainstream car brands. Not only that, but the Superb stands out above cheaper Skodas such as the Scala and Octavia when you look closely at the materials, design and attention to detail of the finish. It's very much an executive class experience here in the front as well. I mean, okay, we're not quite talking Audi levels of technology and design in here. You don't get like the stacked screens, for example. However, in all other regards, I think the Superb is really hard to criticise, and ergonomically, it's superb. For example, having these heater controls separate just means if you want to hit the airy circulation nice and quickly, you can do it. You don't have to go into the touch screen. And on these matrix LED headlights going between main and dip beam, you just go simple as that. There's no faffing around with different auto modes and things. I think that this car, interior wise, is very hard to criticise, and the fact it's got a bit more chrome now as part of the facelift just helps to make it feel like a really nice place to be. That includes the infotainment system, which is typical of a modern Skoda or VW unit in that it is beautifully rendered, packed with features and easy to use. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto both feature, as does a voice enhancer on this upgraded model. I've been trying this voice enhancer feature quite a bit, and I have to say it's both weirdly brilliant and brilliantly weird. Now what it does is it picks up voices from around the car and then it amplifies them through the speaker to the driver and makes it a bit easier to hear people. It's a bit like they're sat in a cupboard or something while they talk to you, but you can hear them more clearly, so I guess from that perspective it works. Plus, if you don't want it, you can just turn it off. The major bit of drivetrain news for this facelifted Superb is that it is available with the plug-in hybrid system from the Passat GTE. Unfortunately, this particular car doesn't have that. Instead, it's got the 2-litre 4-cylinder 190 horsepower turbo diesel that we are already familiar with from the VW Group stable. With the ability to get from 0 to 62 miles per hour in around 8 seconds and yet also return a real-world 40 to 45 miles per gallon, it certainly does the numbers. Paired with this 7-speed dual-clutch automatic gearbox, it makes for a generally very refined drivetrain. I mean, okay, you still know it's a diesel, it's still a little bit noisy at lower revs, and you still get that surge of mid-range power, but if that's not really your cup of tea, then Skoda does also sell the Superb with either a 1.5 or 2-litre petrol engines. But go for one of those and you miss out on one of the other great things about a diesel Superb, which is a real world range that is in excess of 600 miles between refills. And the other thing I like about this drivetrain is the way Skoda has set up the engine and the gearbox. So leave it in normal mode on these driving modes down here, and it's ever so slightly economy focused in the way it changes gears. So it'll change up quite early, but put it into sport and it becomes much more responsive, but without being over the top. While still not sporty, the Superb still takes pretty well to being hustled. The steering is accurate and has very satisfying weight to it, and the car turns in well and controls its body movements in a very accomplished way. The only time the Superb is at risk of feeling a bit cumbersome is if you've got lots of long undulations, when the soft suspension just means the body can take a little bit longer to settle. Now, that same soft suspension also means that the Superb in all other driving environments is incredibly comfortable, and the fact it's available not only as front wheel drive, but same with this car, this has got four-wheel drive, just provides that extra reassurance if the weather turns really nasty. So the Superb is swift, smooth and spacious. Is there anything not to like? Honestly, not much really. The Superb is just one of those cars that does everything well, not just the big things, but the smaller things. Things like visibility. In so many modern cars, over-the-shoulder visibility is compromised by really thick C-pillar, but in the Superb, it's actually really good. And that means that it's not just a great car for driving on the motorway, but also it helps to make it really easy to drive in town too. It's rare on CarGurus for us to review a car and genuinely struggle to find something to criticise, but with the Superb that really is the case. If you're thinking about a car being fit for purpose, or in fact exceeding any expectations you might have had about what being fit for purpose might be, then this thing absolutely nails it. It's an exceptionally good car, and with prices starting at just under £26,000, it's very good value as well. It's like we said at the start really, Superb by name, Superb by nature. We think the Superb is good enough to make you think twice about that BMW or Audi, but do you agree? Let us know in the comments. Please do like, subscribe and turn on those notifications. And remember, when it comes to choosing your next car, you can easily find great deals from top-rated dealers at cargurus.co.uk.